We're here at my table. I have my potting mat out, which y'all know what that means. It's time to repot some plants. I still have a lot of plants that I need to repot that are severely root bound. So we're gonna tackle 3 plants today. I decided to keep this very low key. I wanna take it easy and I just wanna repot a couple of plants at a time, which is great for me because it means I'm not gonna burn myself out on plant chores, and it's great for you because you're gonna get to see a lot more of these repotting videos. So if you have any topics that you want me to discuss while repotting some plants, leave those in the comments below. And as always, this video is going to be very chill, very low key. So put this video on in the background while you're doing your own stuff, and let's just keep each other company, okay? Okay, let's start with the first plant. And it's a plant that needed a repot for well over a year. And that is my rabbit's foot fern. I couldn't remember the name of this thing. So, long story short, I bought this plant, maybe a year and a half ago now. I honestly don't even remember when I bought this. I bought this at a local nursery shop here in Zagreb, and it has been growing so freaking well. This is probably one of my favorite plants. It has given me absolutely no issues in the time that I've had it. And this is the only fern in my collection. And I was honestly very scared of owning a fern because I've heard horror stories about them dying and being very, very finicky divas. However, I've had nothing but a good time with this plant, but it is a thirsty plant. Ferns in general do not like drying out, and I have definitely let this thing dry out way too many times. And honestly, it has been fine. But I just know that this thing needs a repot. Like, as you can see, all of its little rhizomes are literally exploding out of its pot. And it's literally just straight coming out of the pot. Now, I'm not sure if these roots are healthy or not. I don't know much about ferns at all, and I don't know, I can see roots. They're just very dark, but I think that's normal for ferns. But on the whole, this root ball feels very, very tight and compact. So I'm not even sure what kind of soil these plants like. So I'm just gonna leave the soil ball or the root ball as is, and I'm just gonna pot it into a bigger vessel. So I'm gonna be moving it into a 17 centimeter clear container, and previously I believe she was in a 12 centimeter pot. So this should be quite a good upgrade, and hopefully she will be happy. I mean, she's already happy, but hopefully she will be even happier, and hopefully she will also get a little bit bigger and bushier. However, because I am upsizing her so drastically, she won't be able to fit on my Vitio shelf. I used to have this plant on my Vitio shelf right over there, but with this up pot, I already checked, it's just not gonna fit on that spot. So I'm probably just gonna keep it on this table as a little centerpiece. It's definitely gonna get a lot less light than it was on that Vitio shelf. But this is a plant that doesn't necessarily require lots of light, so I feel like she will be fine. Also, I'm not using my regular Planescrapers Supreme Aeroid mix. I'm using kind of like a DIY mix because I am running low on the Supreme mix, and I feel like this plant, it doesn't need a fancy soil. Okay, I'm just gonna fill it up a little bit more. And I feel like this is gonna be a tough repot potentially because there are a lot of these rhizomes. And from what I've heard, you're not supposed to bury these rhizomes. So I'm trying to kind of have the plant float like this. Yeah, this looks good to me. This looks good to me, so let's backfill it. I'm not sure how well I will be able to backfill it, and you probably can't see much because this plant is so bushy, but I'm just gonna try my best, okay? I'm gonna try my darndest. Now I gotta say, although I haven't been really on top of my plant care, like I definitely haven't been repotting my plants. I even missed like a couple of fertilizations with my plants. On the whole, my collection is looking pretty good, and I'm really happy with the way that my collection is looking, but they are growing so freaking fast. And I talk about this quite a lot, but I feel like other plant influencers and content creators don't really mention what happens once your plants do grow to a decent size. I mean, is it amazing to see your plants grow and size up? Absolutely. But they take up so much more space, time, energy. Like, I love taking care of small to medium plants. Those are probably my favorite plants in my collection. Like the 12 to 15 centimeter pot plants are, mwah, they're delicious. They're so easy to repot. They're easy to water. They're easy to spray down if I need to like do any pest treatments. But anything above like 15 centimeters is already a bit of a hassle when it comes to just watering it. Like, it requires a lot more water, it requires a lot more fertilizer, it requires a lot more space, which I feel like nobody is talking about. Like, yes, having large plants is great, but having large plants also requires a lot of freaking space. And I'm limited over here in my small apartment, and I'm sure that a lot of you are also limited in your small apartment. So I feel like eventually I will have to chop down a couple of my plants and restart them, because if they keep growing at the rate that they're growing at right now, it's gonna get out of hand quite fast. But that's okay. That's a problem for future Matt, and I'm sure I'll film it once we get there. But as of right now, I really am happy with the way that my collection is looking. And I feel like, although I have less plants than I had a year ago, I feel like on the whole, the plants that I do have look a lot better than they did a year ago. I feel like my pest situation is a lot more under control, although I do still get pests, and we'll get to that later. And I feel like just I'm better with my watering habits. I don't let my plants dry out or get overwatered. So it's kind of a double-edged sword where, yes, I would love to have 100 plants again, because I really did enjoy having like a large number of plants. Back in my studio, I think the most that I ever had was around 125 plants, which is a lot. And now I have about 60, so it's half of that. And I have been thinking lately of expanding my collection a little bit and adding some plants back into my collection, some plants that I've gotten rid of over the years. So that's something that I have been thinking about, but again, it's just kind of like the space issue. And I could probably get like some kind of shelving system, something up on a wall or something. But again, that costs money. It costs my time, energy, installing the whole thing, figuring out the lighting for it. So, and I'm renting this place, so I don't want to like drill too many holes into the walls. But I have been thinking about potentially adding a couple more planty areas to my apartment, because I just love having a planty apartment that's filled with greenery. I don't know why I keep forgetting this plant's name, but the rabbit foot's fern is done. She is repotted. She got quite a bit of an upgrade, so I think she will be happy in this setup. And I also have a cute ass cover pot for her. Like, look at that. That is such a cute combo, like the minty green with the like darker green foliage. I think that is so adorable, and I absolutely love this pot. I get a lot of compliments on my pots as well, which I'm very happy about, because I do really love having aesthetically pleasing pots in my collections. I don't like seeing just plants in their nursery pots. I think that's kind of ugly. So I do try my best to make my plants look as visually appealing as possible, and a good plant pot combo is the best way to achieve a pleasing look. Anyway, the next plant, you know what? I have some semi-hydro plants that I need to do. So I'm gonna clean my mat and then I will be right back, okay? Okay, we're back again. And this time we're gonna be working on some semi-hydro plants. And the next plant that I need to repot is my Calathea ornata. Oh my God, look at this plant. She is so gorgeous. She doesn't even fit in the frame. She's so large, like look at her. This is massive. And I've grown this from basically nothing. I think I grew it from a couple of stem cuttings that I took, I believe. And now it is so huge and I just love it. And I'm so proud of the fact that I was able to grow such a beautiful Calathea from nothing. I feel like one of the biggest achievements a plant parent can achieve is growing a beautiful Calathea. So I'm really proud of this plant. However, I'm gonna say this, and I say this all the time, but 99% of the success that I'm having with a lot of my plants, especially finicky plants like Calatheas, is because of semi-hydro. Also, there's a lot of like linearis leaves in this pot. So I absolutely love semi-hydro, and clearly this plant loves semi-hydro as well, but it is drying out like crazy. And as you can see, the root situation on her is looking insane. So I am so curious to actually unpot this plant and see the actual root situation. Like I am really hoping for some wild ass roots. So let's see. Oh my God. Okay, she is really in there. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You need to get out. You need to get out. Oh, I'm hearing some breakage. I don't like that. I do expect some root breakage, but as long as the majority, oh my God, holy crap. I can't get this out. As long as the majority of the root system is intact, I will be happy. Oh my, she is really stuck in there. Holy, okay. Okay, are we getting it? Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Wow, indeed. Look at this. Holy guacamole. Now, this is what I call a healthy root system. And this, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, is why I love semi-hydro. Oh my God, these roots are so delicious. But yeah, she definitely needs an up pot. Wow, this is crazy. Holy. Okay, I'm gonna be moving her from a 17 centimeter pot over to a 21, I believe. Yes, 21 centimeter pot. And this plant is very sticky, so I don't like the fact that I'm putting it on my tablecloth, but it's okay. I'll wash the tablecloth. It's fine. It's cool. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about the fact that all of my pots are just dirty. I never wash my like nursery pots, cover pots, none of that. I just don't care. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's gonna get dirty anyway. And I know a lot of people say that you should wash your pots because of potential root rot or potential pests, but I just cannot be bothered. Like, this hobby is, I need this hobby to be easy for me, okay? And I feel like washing, I hate washing anything. Like, I hate washing dishes. Why would I wash my pots? You know what I mean? And I know there are people out there that enjoy washing their pots, and I wish I was one of you. I wish I was, but unfortunately, I'm just not. So I always reuse my pots, and I always just keep them as is. And I kind of just like I never ran into any issues. I feel like by just sitting out in the open for like weeks or months, the pots kind of like get clean either way. So like, I don't mind, and I do not mind a little bit of dirt. Okay, so I put a layer of semi-hydro at the bottom, and now I'm just gonna backfill the plant. And I'm aware that you can't see me and that you can't see the plant, but it's gonna be fine. We're gonna do this quickly, okay? I love repotting semi-hydro plants. It's so much easier than soil plants. Like, this is just like easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, I will say something that I don't like about semi-hydro is the transition when repotting. I feel like whenever I repot my semi-hydro plants, I need to be very vigilant and very on top of making sure that the entire vessel is staying moist, because what will happen is, so the roots right now are kind of sitting at the middle of the pot because I filled the bottom with the pon, and then if you let this middle part dry out, the roots are gonna die. And this did happen to me a couple of times. So in the first couple of weeks during a fresh semi-hydro repot, I do love to just take this plant or take the plant to the shower and just rinse all of the substrate through very, very good and get it all nice and wet. And I do that for, like, I would say maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks after repotting, just until the actual roots manage to get a little bit further down the bottom and towards the actual reservoir. And then once I do that, I basically am set, and the pon does all of the heavy lifting. And I genuinely don't rinse or don't flush my semi-hydro plants. I'll do it sometime, but on the whole, I just fill it up, and I didn't run into any issues by doing it this way. Okay, she is done. She is looking so gorgeous. I freaking love this plant. Now, this is a plant that has been riddled by spider mites lately. I don't see any right now, but it is also a plant that is so freaking sticky. This plant produces so many extra floral nectaries. I showered it 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? And it's already sticky. So I'm definitely gonna need to take this girl into the shower and give her a nice, good little clean, but she's looking so good. And I think she will be absolutely happy in this setup. This plant also lives on my vitro shelf under Barina grow lights, in case I forgot to say that. I feel like a lot of people classify calatheas as low light plants, and while yes, they don't like to be blasted by direct sunlight, they still love a lot of light. And I feel like these grow lights, whether they be Barina or some other grow lights, whichever brand you like to use, are just the perfect amount of light for plants like calatheas, but they definitely love a lot of light. So yeah. Anyway, Calathea ornata, she is done, and I do have a cute little gray cover plot for her. Now, this is not like my favorite color. I'm not the biggest fan of grays. I'm kind of a gray hater, especially in home decor. I just am not a fan. But I feel like with such a kind of gothic-y looking plant, it works quite well, and it works quite well on my vitro shelf, and it's the only pot that I had available in this size, so I'm definitely gonna use it. Now, the last plant that we have to work on is gonna be my Hoya multiflora Wonderful. And look at her, she's so big. Oh my god, this plant has gotten so huge. I grew this plant from a small little cutting, and now it is huge. I also did get some Hoya multiflora blooms on this plant, which I was very, very excited about. And it does have a lot of little peduncles all over the plant. However, oh my god, this thing is incredibly thirsty. Like, I cannot keep up with watering this thing. I can water this thing literally every day and it would still be dry. Like, it is literally bone dry. This pot weighs nothing, and I think I watered it 2 days ago. So my plan is to actually move this plant into semi-hydro. So we're gonna be doing a a soil to pond transition. Now I am gonna be saving as much of this substrate as I can because this is the good substrate, so I definitely don't want to waste that. And also, yeah, she's definitely like severely root bound, so obviously she needs a proper repot. Like, look at that. Oh my god, look at this. Holy guacamole, this is crazy. Wow. Okay. No wonder. Oh my god, this is solid as a rock. No wonder that she is drying out so much. Ooh, I am not certain I'll be able to to get this root ball out of here. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I will definitely need to break some roots, which sucks because in order to transition this into semi-hydro, I will have to get rid of all of the substrate or as much as possible. Honestly, maybe it would have been just easier to take a cutting and start over with this plant, or should I just like keep it in soil and repot it into a bigger substrate? I am thinking about maybe just doing that because like I cannot get this root situation. Like this is way too root bound. Like this is way beyond savable. So I think we're gonna shift gears. And I think I'm just gonna give it a up pot and keep it in the same medium that it's in right now. And then maybe later on take some cuttings and then start those in pond. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But as of right now, this is just not gonna work. But I do need to uppot this plant because this is crazy root bound. So let me actually go and see if I even have a good enough vessel or a big enough vessel for this plant. And I will be right back. Interesting. Okay, so I found this little cover pot that fits this 15 centimeter nursery pot. So I think I'm just gonna go with that solution. And it's not gonna be like a massive upsize because it was in a 12 centimeter pot, but I think it's gonna be fine nonetheless. Also, as I mentioned, this was in that Supreme Aeroid mix. So in theory, I would love to keep it in that mix. However, I feel like this plant will be fine in my little DIY mixy poo. I can put maybe some of this, like this is some nice soil. I can put this at the bottom. So let's just do that. Let's repot her and hopefully I will have to water her a lot less because yeah, watering this plant, whew, it's become a full-time job, y'all. But I am really happy that she's finally at the stage where she is blooming because those multiflora blooms are so freaking precious. Oh, I love it. I really hope that this year or next year a lot more of my Hoyas start blooming. I would love for my Caudata Sumatra to bloom. I would love for my Sulawesiana to bloom. You know, there's just like a lot of cool Hoyas in my collection that still have to bloom for me, but all in due time. I have patience. I have all the patience in the world, but it would be cool to have some more Hoya flowers. My Hoya Bertonier is still blooming like crazy, and every single night that I come in here, I just get this lovely caramel smell. It's so delicious. It's so potent. And I'm sad that it only happens at night because I would love to smell that smell like all day long. It's so good. Like if I could find a candle that smelled the way that the Hoya Bertonier does at night, mwah, that would be so, like it just smells delicious. Which isn't great because then I get hungry and I try not to eat at night because Yeah, it's supposedly not good for you, so I try to avoid binging food at night. Okay, so this was a fairly straightforward process. I honestly thought that we're gonna be here for quite a long time and actually transition this plant to semi-hydro, but as you saw, there was no help, there was no salvaging that root system, so this will have to do, and I'm sure she will be a lot happier in this setup. And this soil is a lot more dense than the Supreme Aeroid Mix by Plant Scraper, so in theory, it should dry out a lot slower, which means that I will have to water this plant a lot less. At least that's the theory. And I am gonna be putting it into this dark green cover pot. And again, look at how cute of a combo that is. The dark green with the like minty bright leaves. Oh, I love it. But is this gonna fit on my windowsill? Barely, but that's okay. Oh my God, my plants are taking over my apartment, my life, my everything, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. Anyway, this is the end. I think I am happy with what we achieved today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got to do some of your own repots or some other chores, or just got to relax a little bit while we yapped and hung out together. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me a little planty emoji down in the comments below. Let me know how you're doing, how your plants are doing. I would love to chat with you. I hope you have a super amazing, fabulous, gorgeous day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!